shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Superb. Good afternoon, everyone. Catherine from Radio Leeds, we'll start with you.
Very good afternoon, Brodie. It's been such a good start to the season. How would you assess the opening couple of games?
I think it's been good. It's two good results against two good oppositions. I think the things we're working on throughout the week showed in the games, and it was two good results. But still very early doors in the season, so I think it's just to keep focus and take it week by week.
And for you personally, how do you rate your own performances so far?
I think it was better the other night. I think first game of the season, I have played better, to be fair, but obviously playing out of position is a bit different, so I'm still learning and adapting to that. So, but overall I think it's been good, yeah.
What is your remit from the manager this season?
Sorry, say it again?
What is your remit? What does he want from you, Michael Duff?
I think he just wants positivity. He wants 100% every game. He's made that very clear. He wants everyone to give everything they have and fight as a team and fight for each other. And I think everyone's shown that so far.
Does it feel like a very different club now to back end of last season? Yeah,
I think the managers came in and he sort of tried to change the whole mentality of the club and get it sort of into a winning mentality, which I think he's done quite well. I think the mood around the training ground and everything around the stadium and stuff's very, very positive. Everyone seems to be very happy, which is very good, and I feel like the team's a lot more together as well.
Yeah, that feel-good factor definitely seems to be around the club at the moment. Is that something you sense as players as well?
Yeah, 100%. Even the stadium the other night, even though it's a cup game, it was still buzzing. And then even the first game of the season, an away game, and the fans didn't stop the whole game. So I think that just gives you the extra little kick and the extra little push as well. When you hear them and singing the whole game, it gives you that extra little push.
With that in mind then, first home game in League One on Saturday, how important is it to show exactly what you're all about in front of a full John Smith's?
Yeah, I think when teams come down, you can get a bit carried away and think it's going to be easy and a walk in the park, which I think we realised it wasn't going to be in the first 10-15 minutes. They came after us, and I think we've done well to stick together as a team and get through that tough 10-15 minutes, and then we were able to come through and show our quality. And in this league, you're not just going to walk over the top of teams. There's some very, very good teams in this league, which we've seen on the weekend. So I think it was very good just to go out there and show what we're able to do and get a good result.
It's something that Michael Duff said a few times, that he won't get carried away. He won't be high-fiving people after one win. There's always room for improvement and different things you can do. And he's talked a lot about you go out, you win the first half. If that's gone well, you go out, you win the second half. Is that kind of the message that he continually reinforces with you guys? Yeah,
100%. Football isn't one in one half. Anything can happen. So I think it's just trying to keep that focus and taking it half by half. I think that's a good way to take it. Help us stay really focused and concentrated and make sure everyone's at 100% for the full 90 minutes.
We spoke to Callum Marshall earlier in the week. He had a fantastic debut in the Cup. You know him very, very well. How long have you guys known each other and played against each other?
I think I've known Callum since about 14, 15. I've been playing against him and then also playing in the Northern Ireland setup since under 15s together. I've watched him for years now, and I know how good he is, and I know how much he can bring to this team. And for him to go out and show that in the Cup game the other night was really pleasing to see.
When there was talk of him coming to Huddersfield Town, did he contact you to say, come on, give us a lowdown on what it's like here?
Yeah, he texted me straight away and he says, I think I might be coming, and obviously I was over the moon with that. I know how good of a player Callum is, so obviously it was very persuasive and positive about the place, and made sure that he picked here, yeah.
And I think he mentioned that, did you guys live together for a little while as well? Have you been housemates before?
Yeah.
We can see he's a very good player. What's he like as a housemate?
Yeah, no, we lived together just before we moved away, and a Northern Ireland setup in a university. Me, Callum and a few other of the Northern Ireland lads, we live together, so we're quite close. He's a good lad, keeps himself to himself. He's very concentrated on football, and he knows what he wants, so yeah.
Can he cook? Does he wash up? Does he make the house messy? What's he like to live with?
Can't do anything. He can't cook. He can't clean. He can't do none of that. But he's a good footballer, so that makes up for it. So
we'll let him off from that point of view then. You recently had your contract extended by the club. The club took up the option of that. What was kind of your understanding of why they wanted to do that?
I'm not too sure. Obviously, I was happy with it. You know, it's another year at the club, and it's another year for me to be able to go out and express myself and show what I'm about. It's also just safety for me now. It's a bit of pressure taken off me and the club, you know, that I'm here for an extra year. So yeah, I'm happy about it.
That's it. If you're going to be really kind of like brutal about it, it's you are an asset that the club are protecting and want to keep hold of. But it obviously says a lot about how they view you, that they're very keen to make sure that, you know, if there is other interest in you, that you're not going to be allowed to leave easily. Yeah,
of course. No, it does give you that extra bit of confidence knowing that you're wanted. You know, I think that's what every football player wants, just to feel wanted, and when they've done that, obviously it makes me feel good about myself as well.
What's your aim for this season then?
Just to play as much games as I can and make sure we get as much good results as possible, yeah.
And do you, from what we've already seen, we know we're only 2 games in, nobody wants to get carried away, but do you get the sense that this squad has got what it takes, that you will be up there and challenging come the end of the season? Yeah,
of course, there's a lot of quality in the squad, and I think that we have enough potential to be challenging up there at the top of the league, but I think that's just down to us now to focus and take it game by game.
Best of luck.
Thank you very
Brodie.
much. Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine. We'll just get the mic other side, Catherine, sorry. And in a second we'll come to Stephen from We Are Terriers. Steve, we're ready when you are, thank you.
Lovely stuff. Hi Brodie, good to speak to you. You spoke about getting used to that
Amazing, that's gone well.
that new centre-back role. It is a slightly unconventional version of the centre, a bit more licence to get forward than I think a lot of centre-backs would get. Do you feel like that plays into your strengths, that hybrid role?
Yeah, definitely. You know, obviously played most of my career as a full-back and a midfielder, so I do love to get forward, and I think I'm able to do that. I think I'm quite fit to be able to get up and down, but I think it's just about now just choosing when's the right time to do that, you know, and when to stay and when I'm able to go. So yeah.
We've seen the level of organisation that's gone into the press and the defensive organisation as well. Obviously, with the wing backs being very attack minded, there's potential for gaps to be left there. Is that sort of one thing that the gaffer's had you working on? You know, making sure that those gaps are covered when one of the others is getting forward.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's made it very clear that we need to be comfortable 1v1s as centre backs. You know, it's not always going to be 2+1, and if you want to press high, you're going to have to go 1v1. And I think he's made that very clear. So we've been working on that quite a bit, and yeah, I think we'll have very good understanding between the back five now of if someone goes where your position is. So I think it's all very good. Yeah.
Does it help you when you're sort of moving into that centre back role and someone else is doing the wing back stuff? Does it help you when you've got experience of that position? You know the kind of runs they want to make. You know the kind of balls they want to make. They want from you. Yeah,
100%. I'm sort of trying to think of a step ahead, sort of put myself in their shoes. You know, for example, when I'm playing with Mikel and Jaheim, I know that they're going to want to get in the back stick, so I know that there might be a bit of space there on the left hand side. So just to stay concentrated and focused, and just make sure that I'm not caught out just not concentrating.
Stevenage are a very different side to Peterborough. If we're going on sort of last season's stats, they're almost the polar opposite to Peterborough. Do you feel like you're ready for a different kind of challenge? And again, is that something you talked about in training this week, the need to play against different kinds of opposition? Yeah,
100%. I think what I really like about this gaffer, he sort of focuses on each week about the game ahead, and he's not looking 5 games ahead, you know what I'm saying? So I think we've really focused on Stevenage and understand how they play and how we're going to be able to set up to be able to perform against a team like Stevenage.
Fantastic. Thanks, Brodie. Best of luck.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. We'll finish with Leon from the Yorkshire Post.
Hi, Brodie. Hope you're well. I was just wondering with Michael, he was obviously a very good centre-half in his playing days, and at his previous clubs, he's specifically worked with the defenders quite closely and been quite hands-on. Is that what you've sort of found so far?
Yeah, I think it's very, very, very helpful. You know, he's been in our situation before, so he knows what it's like to be in our shoes. So the detail he gives us is amazing, and yeah, I'm just taking on everything that he's saying and trying to learn as much as possible.
Yeah, and he's obviously got an ex-Northern Ireland international, and he's got a great record as well. It's something you know a bit about his playing career, that sort of thing. You've done a bit of research.
Yeah, he's also told me a lot of stories about his days in Northern Ireland. You know, yeah, it's also good to have. You know, it's obviously very good that he is an experienced centre back and he has lots to tell us and help us learn on.
Yeah, it's probably good for you as well. I mean, he's obviously. He's not bought you, but he's got good knowledge of you because he's spoken to a lot of people at Northern Ireland. So you're not sort of coming in blind. You probably know a little bit about him and people who know him, that sort of thing, and that sort of helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, he knows what I'm about, and he's made it very clear on what he's about, and I think that we'll match very well. You know, everything he wants, I'm willing to give. So yeah.
Where do you see? I mean, this left side of centre out. Where are you quite enjoying it?
Yeah, it's a different challenge. Obviously, it's not somewhere where I've played quite a lot, but I'm really, really enjoying the challenge of playing there and learning a new position. You know, I think as a young player, it's very good just to be able to play in a couple of different positions. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
Absolutely, and you obviously got the home game the other day. You got two home games in the league. You know, you were part of it at the end of last season. Some really tough moments against Birmingham and Swansea, and it can give a little bit of payback to the fans if you get a couple of good results in these next two games and performances, because it was tough for them, wasn't it, at the end of last season?
Yeah, 100%. I think it was a very tough end of the season for not only the team but also the fans. You know, the fans are so passionate and they love to see us do well, and it also hurts them as well when we're not doing so well. So I think it's just so important for us now just to try and get some good results and obviously get back to them and show that we're trying and we're trying to give back to them as well.
I mean, personally as well, I'm looking at yourself in the last 12 months. You know, you've been to the SPL and played at, Ibrox, Celtic Park, and played for your country. It's obviously the lows of relegation. It's been a terrific ride for you, though, hasn't it? Really, God, you must pinch yourself sometimes.
Yeah, it's been quite I don't even know how to describe this year, but it's been good. Obviously, I've learned so much in a short amount of time, and I'm sort of just trying to keep my feet on the ground and just keep focusing and trying to learn. I still have so much to learn as a young player, so yeah, just trying to stay focused at the moment.
Yeah, and obviously you're linked up with Callum. Has he been a roommate with you internationally? I know you played at for the seniors at Northern Ireland and gone through the age groups. Yeah. No, me and Callum have been quite close throughout all the age groups. We've got on quite well, and it's very good to have him here again. Yeah. Tell us about some of your highs. I mean, you played in the last game, didn't you? And I think you both started, and you beat Andorra, and there was obviously you played against Scotland. He was on the bench. You've had some highs already, haven't you? Wants to savour.
Yeah. I think it was Callum's full debut last game, and he was able to get an assist. And then, so yeah, it just goes to show his quality. You know, not only on his debut here, he was able to get a goal and assist, but on his international debut as well, he was able to get an assist. So it just goes to show his quality. Yeah.
Are you going to be? He mentioned that you might be hooking up, living together, that sort of thing. Or are you going to be helping him look for a house?
I'll help him look for a house, yeah, of course. But moving in, I'm not too sure about that so far. Yeah.
Did you sort of play finally as when you mentioned you know each other since you're 14 and 15? Have you been up against him? Have you kicked him? Has he kicked you? How's it sort of been? Yeah,
we played against each other on a few occasions, to be fair. I'm not going to say how them games went, but yeah, there were some good games, yeah.
Good man, top man. Thanks for your time, bro.
No problem, thank you.
Cheers everyone, we'll be back with Michael Duff shortly. Thanks.
Thank you.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day. shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Superb. Catherine, when you're ready, thank you.
Good afternoon, Michael. Let's start with the cup draw from last night. Walsall away. Your reaction to that?
Well, I think it's not one of the big boys, obviously, but it's an opportunity to get through another round without being disrespectful. It's away to a League Two team, so we'll have to deliver a performance again. But it's nothing you're in control of, so it's another game. The probably good thing is it's not anyone in our league. You'd rather play a team not in your division for different reasons, in terms of you're going to see them anyway, and you can look at a couple of different things, personnel, whether that's at a higher league or a lower league. So yeah, it's just another opportunity for people to play.
It was such a convincing performance against Morecambe on Tuesday night. A nice position to be in, I suppose, that you now have a bit of a selection headache looking ahead to the weekend.
Exactly what we wanted. I thought the mentality of the players was excellent. I thought the physicality of the players was excellent. The numbers will tell you that. The rest of it was really good, but they're always the things that you look at those games. Half the ground's empty. It's a low-key game, but the players delivered what we want them to do, and it's trying to instil that every day, as we've talked about already. And then the quality came out. It came out in the first 25 seconds of the game, but the fact that they were still doing it in the 93rd, 94th minute, again, those types of games, just 3-0 half time, you can coast, but we're trying to shift that sort of that mentality of it doesn't just happen winning, go after them, because there will be games where it's 0-0 in the 90th minute and we need to make sure that they're still going in the 90th minute. So yeah, really pleased with the mentality of the players.
Is that one of the toughest aspects of management, when you do have a full squad to choose from? A lot of people have put in impressive performances to try and keep everyone happy when they're maybe not being selected.
Well, my job isn't to keep people happy. My job's to pick the best team. Now, you want to create an environment where it's a good environment, and then it's up to the players to get themselves in the team. The real tough part of the job, as I think I said it last week, is disappointing people that are giving you everything. That's the tough part. I'm not here to babysit people, but you want to create an environment that's enjoyable, competitive, that they enjoy coming to work, and then hopefully it's over to them in terms of they deliver performances in training. But then, yeah, when you do pick a team, and sometimes it's easy to leave a player out for whatever reason, loss of form or injury or whatever. But it's the ones that knock on your door and they've given you everything you've asked for, and they're still not in the team. That is the tough part, but that's the tough part of it.
Do you already have in mind what your team's going to be for Saturday?
Yeah, probably. We're probably knocking a couple of things around. So I'll sleep. We've had a big discussion as a staff today, so I'll go home tonight and have a sleep on it and make a final decision. But the fact that we've got decisions to make is a positive. I think the fact that we've got, if it isn't going well for whatever reason, because it won't always go swimmingly, that we can change the game and not dilute the team. So even if it's a case of just refreshing just in terms of energy, or it might be a tactical thing, or it might be a performance thing. So there's the performance from the other night gives us flexibility in our choices for this weekend.
Two very different games already. Do you expect Stevenage again to be a different challenge to what you've come up against so far?
Yeah, they'll be completely different to Peterborough in the way that they play. The way that they play is really effective. It works for the personnel that they've got, so we know what's coming. We have to deal with it. It's effective. There's no judgment from me. I played for a Burnley team that were called direct for years, and we're not bothered. We keep winning. They had a really successful season last year. Alex is new but not new, so it's a new face, but he's not really. So he'll have carried on the way that under the success that they had last year. And again, it's the motivation for us is we've had a good start. Can we keep going?
And that's it, a game at a time. I know it's the old football cliche, but to just maintain that feel-good factor, and particularly in the first, I hesitate to use the word proper home game, though, it'd be nice to be able to deliver that and just keep that momentum going.
Well, we want to keep the momentum going as long as possible. It won't last forever, but it's very, very unlikely we're going to score in the first 25 seconds of the game. So it's understanding of what's got us success in a really small window, and it might have to be to the 75th, 78th, 90th. We might go 1-0 down, we might go 2-0 down. So recognising where we can hurt them, where their strengths are, and obviously trying to hurt them whilst stopping them hurting us, which is the obvious bit. There'll be the first probably big crowd. But last week at Birmingham tells you everything. The team's not just going to come here and roll over because we've had a little bit of a decent start and there's a good energy around the place. Birmingham had 30,000 people. There's a big fanfare. It's like, well, they're going to win 5-0. Reading had other things to say. Stevenage will be exactly the same. I'd imagine their team talk will be start well and quieten the crowd. So we need to accept all those challenges and deal with them.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think that the chairman might be putting in an appearance. Is that correct? Kevin Nagle's going to be in the house on Saturday. How often do you speak to him? And we're all a little bit in danger of getting a bit giddy about the start you've had. Is he the same, or is he a bit more measured about it all? No,
I think he accepts where we're at. We're 2 games in. I think he's in the air now, so we'll probably meet him tomorrow. But no, I speak to him once a week, and it's not a big long hour-long conversation. He's a busy man. It's 15, 20. Where we at? I like the way that looked. I like the way that looked. What could be better? So we tell him those things. He's watching the same as everyone else. I think he sees work that's coming out. But again, it's people just assume that because the chairman's over, we'll win on Saturday. Well, Stevenage are going to go, well, okay then. That's not the case at all. They've got where they are because they've fought and scrapped. They are underdogs. I've been an underdog in this league. They'll love it. They'll love the challenge. So we need to make sure that there is no sort of, I will be all right. All right's the enemy. If you're doing all right in football, you're not succeeding. So you'll never be all right. You need to fight, and the results will come.
And again, no, we ask you this every time we speak to you. Transfer business, where are you at? Is there any movement imminent?
No. I'm aware that I said that last week and Callum walked in the door, but that sort of accelerated really quickly at the end. But I don't think there'll be anything, I'll be surprised if there's anything done by this weekend.
I'm just interested in how all of that works. Do you come up with a list of players that you're interested in, or are you presented with a list of players that might be available and then you thrash it out between all of you? How exactly does that work?
A bit of both. We have recruitment meetings from the first day of pre-season, and you have lists. And they constantly evolve because the player at the start of the window, at the start of the summer, then a lot of players are out of contract and they're in control because there's a long time left and they're all still getting paid. When their contracts run out on the 30th of June and people start turning up for pre-season, the power shifts a little bit. So it's finding that balance. People move. You have people that are 3rd, 4th or 5th on the list that quickly become number 1 on the list because other people have been taken. So it's in a constant state of flow. And now things are starting to happen because the Premier League boys are back and a lot of young Premier League players like Callum are starting to move, and there's always that chain reaction from there. So we bring players to the recruitment team, they bring players that we've never heard of. Ultimately, me, Mark and Lee will sit down and pick what we think is the best one. But I can't know every centre half in the league because I'm not out. I'm watching my team. So that's where the recruitment job is, to bring a list of players and then we whittle it down from there.
Will you be quite glad when the window closes and then at least you know 100% exactly what's at your disposal for the next few months at least? Yeah,
it's always an important moment because, like you said, it's the if, buts and maybes have stopped. So people that might want to leave, I'm not saying there are, but if people that want to leave know they're here, you might be targeting people, but they're not in the building or they are in the building. So you know what you've got for the next 4 months. So everyone's agenda needs to go out the window there. Because no matter how many times you say it, players are their own businesses, they're their own agendas. We need to make sure they try and buy into the team one. But once all that noise stops then, and it's like, well, look, you might not want to be here, but you're here. So you can either buy in or sit quietly and suffer, but they'll only hurt you long term anyway. Or people that are in the building that you want in the building, and they obviously want to be in the building, so they buy in as well. So it sort of puts a full stop on all the noise, and you can focus on the next 4 months.
Thank you very much. Good luck on Saturday.
Cheers, Catherine.
Catherine, we'll just get the microphone round, and then we'll come to Stephen from We Are Terriers. Steve, Woods, go.
Lovely stuff. Hi, Michael. Just following on from Catherine there, is there a chance we might see, as the window evolves and as you get an idea of what you need in your squad, etc., might we see some of the fringe players perhaps going out on loan towards the end of the window?
Yeah, there'll be probably. I can't force people to leave if people are under contract, but I can have honest conversations with people and say, look, I don't think you're going to get the game time. I'm not one that, well, if you don't leave, I'm going to make you go and train on your own. I don't believe in that at all. I believe in treating people properly. So people will always be able to train with us as long as they're respectful, and we'll treat them properly as human beings. But I can have an honest conversation, so they can't come and knock on the door in 6 weeks' time and say, well, I've not kicked a ball. I said, well, I told you that 6 weeks ago. So the reason why you're here is on your doing, not mine. So that's just an honest chat with the players, and then it puts the ball in their court, what they want to do with it. So, again, like I just said, even in our own club, you're affected by people in. If someone comes in, there's normally a ripple effect. It means that someone else has gone down the pecking order. If I tell that person they've gone down the pecking order, they're not going to play, it's on them then. So, you don't want a bloated squad. You don't want a squad of 30 pros, because, as much as I said it's not my job to keep them happy, it's impossible to keep 30 happy because they all want to play. But it's making sure it's competitive enough that they all think they've got a chance.
Last couple of games, obviously, you've scored twice first half on Saturday, 3 times the other day, and been a good few years since we're seeing Town scoring, multiple goals in the first half of a game. Is a quick start a good start? Obviously, you'd rather have one, but is that something you particularly stress to the players? They need to start well.
Not really. Well, I do, but it's not. I said we've got to start the second half well. You're trying to play well for 95 minutes. That's the challenge. We try and win both halves. That's been the mentality. The second half performances have probably been better than the 2 first half performances, but on aggregate, it's 5-0. But no, it's you just want to implement all the things that we want to work on. We want to be aggressive. We want to play good football. We want to press teams. So can you implement all those? We're not going to go 1-0 up every week. So it's dealing with the challenges that different games tactically bring you, different games that opposition threats might hurt you with, and just dealing with it. I definitely don't go out and go, right, well, just jog around for the first 5 minutes, to give them a 1-0 start, and we'll take it from there. But the players have implemented it well. Like, the first goal the other day, straight from kick-off, some of the football, I think it was 25 seconds when we scored, and we'd already had quite a few passes and a cross already. So that was really pleasing. That sort of, again, talking about the mentality of the players.
Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. We'll finish with Leon from the Yorkshire Post.
Hi, Michael. I hope you're well. I'm just sort of wondering, are you more extra observant, if you like, as a manager on players when you've won a couple, as opposed to when you maybe lost a couple? Because you talked about coasting, things like that, and just you've won a couple. People can get a few pats on the back, but you just want them to be on it all the time. That's what you're all about.
Yeah, well, I think anyone that knows me knows that that's what I'm like anyway. It's they get plenty of days off. So because I'm a firm believer that when you go home, I'm not a big one for bringing them in the next day for recoveries and things like that, because I think they need the psychological rest. I think it's important they spend time at home with the families and all the friends, and they chill out. But when they're in, they're working. They just don't come in and coast, so they're either in 100% or they're off 100%. So they were off on Wednesday, but we've been back to work today. Because I just think I think we're not good enough to coast. I don't think anyone at this level is good enough just to coast and win. I'll just get enough. I'll just do enough to get through the week, and then I'll turn up on Saturday. We ain't that good. And it doesn't mean we'll win on Saturday, but it won't. It's always been. It won't be through lack of hard work, and I use myself as a reference for that. I didn't have a great year personally last year.
Yeah.
I can put my head on the pillow and go, well, it wasn't through lack of hard work. It just didn't work out for many, many different reasons.
Yeah.
But I can go to sleep at night knowing that, well, I didn't cut corners, I didn't cheat the system. So as long as the players can put their head on the pillow on Saturday night and go, well, I gave it everything, they were just better than us, or I give it everything and the referee cost us. Quite comfortable with that, because you can't win every week.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously managers are big on numbers on a Saturday and a match day, but also in training every day, I guess you and your staff are big on that. It's in numbers in that regard, whether it's in the gym or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the whole sports science thing, but it does get reviewed every morning. As coaches, we watch training back every day, just to make sure that sometimes the messages we're given are clear. It's all right having a plan, but then delivering it on the training ground. But the beauty of modern technology is that you can watch it back. You can walk off the training ground and watch it back immediately. So which is what we do. We sit down and go, well, that didn't look right. That didn't look right.
Yeah.
So then you can adjust it for tomorrow's session, going into the tactical side of the Saturday's game.
Yeah, I was just sort of looking around the stadium the other day, and there's been bits of refurbs in the dressing room around the building stands, and I know it's only a little thing, but I suppose it's all part of the sort of new look, the vibe, and everything, and it's something that's good in that regard, and it's all part of the professionalism, is it, and everything. Yeah,
that's the club have been really good in terms of that, but as we've said all along, it's still sort of the honeymoon period where everything's shiny and new, almost so to speak, and the same with the messaging from the players. It's all new. Do they get bored of it? But with painting the ground doesn't score your goals, but hopefully it energises the crowd, which gives them the mentality and the energy to go and support the players, and then the byproduct of that is it energises the players, and then they go and deliver a performance, and then hopefully it's a vicious circle in a positive way that leads to a brilliant atmosphere and a good performance, which hopefully leads to a win.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you finally about Sorensen. I watched him the other day and actually caught up with the game at Peterborough. He just looks a real low maintenance footballer. He sort of plays every game as if it's his first game and his last game, and you sort of seem to know what you'll get from him. His unstinting commitment, and he's a pride about his profession, and I suppose that's what your signings have been all about in your managerial career, hopefully.
I think
those sort of lads.
I think Lass is a brilliant example, because I'd imagine if you asked most Huddersfield Town supporters last year about Lass Sorensen, they wouldn't have had a clue.
Yeah.
Because he was a League One player. So this is what I mean about people being dismissive about League One. Oh, we'll just win. Herbie Kane, Anthony Evans has hit the ground running. They're all playing in mid-table. None of them were in the top six of Herbie was, but of League One last year. So he's a brilliant example. Like, people are waxing lyrical, thinking he's been great. His mentality is strong. His mentality and his physicality. He's a typical Scandinavian in terms of he just does everything he can for the betterment of him, and we get the byproduct of that. But I think it's just another warning. Not another warning, but it's just another market. There's some good players in this league. Yeah. So again, while us Huddersfield Town supporters, do they know much about Stevenage players? They're probably Tyrese Simpson maybe, but that'll be it. But they've got some good players.
Yeah.
Now they might not have 20 players that maybe get into all of our teams, but they'll definitely have players that can get in our team. Every team in the league will. So it's giving people the respect that they can hurt you. There's no entitlement in football. And the moment we think, we're bigger than everyone else and better than everyone else, it will soon slap you. And that'll happen at some point, but it can't be through. Yeah. It can't be through sort of that entitlement or an arrogance. It needs to be just because they were better than us, or we had a bit of bad luck.
Yeah. Very best of luck as always, Michael. Thank you.
Cheers, Leon.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you on Saturday.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.